Hi, my name is Caitlin Federley. Welcome back to my kitchen. This is a side dish entry and I'm quite excited about it. Philadelphia is so amazing in all different types of foods, but side dishes, it really ups the ante and makes it. So for you tonight, I'm going to be making my stuffed, Philly stuffed tomatoes. And it's kind of a Mediterranean style stuffed tomato with artichokes and red onions and pesto and some white basmati rice and pine nuts. So we're going to start putting our pan on medium-high heat, and I have just a little bit of olive oil in there, and you can tell when your oil is hot enough to put food in it when it kind of comes translucent like that and coats the bottom of the pan. It kind of thins out. So I'm going to put a cup of red onion into that olive oil. And you should hear it start to sizzle quite right away. And just add that in there. And what you do when you're cooking onions, right now we're going to be sauteing. So a saute on an onion is where you want to bring out the caramel sugars of that onion or that vegetable that you're sauteing. And so we're just going to let that cook for a bit before we add our artichokes. And I have just canned artichokes here, and I've taken them and I've just roughly chopped them because they come kind of they're like an artichoke heart, so they come full. You want to just chop them up a bit. And in this stuffed tomato, I'm going to be using this Philadelphia Light spinach cream cheese, which I mean, every time I go to the grocery aisle, I'm always amazed at the new flavors Philadelphia is coming out with. And they really have, I love that they have like the actual ingredients in there. You can see the spinach, and it tastes like spinach. It's so good. So I thought I'd try that one today. I've done this recipe with just plain Philadelphia cream cheese. They also have a sun-dried tomato pesto Philadelphia cream cheese that would be so good in this. So I'm just going to add a little bit of fresh cracked pepper to the onions there, and just a bit of salt. And you definitely want to add your pepper when you're sauteing and there's not too much in the pan, because it's going to roast a bit, and that'll bring out the natural oils in the pepper. And it kind of just, it bumps up the flavor a bit, and it just tastes great. And it kind of seeps in on the deep level in the dish. So it's a good idea to add your pepper when you first start sauteing. I'm going to add to that I have a cup of the artichoke hearts there, and they're just canned artichoke hearts. And I chose to use the ones that are canned in water, not the ones in oil, just because they add a lot of salt and flavoring to those, and you want to have control over how much salt and flavoring you have in your dish. So when you're doing a stuffed dish like this, it's a really good idea to use artichoke hearts that are canned in water, not in flavored oil. I also am going to add 2 tablespoons of pesto, and I just have like a store-bought pesto there. You can make your own if you like. It's really easy. And pesto basically is any herb that is blended or grinded with nuts or anything like that. So you can make pestos out of cilantro, arugula. This one is basil and pine nuts and Parmesan cheese and olive oil. So that's sauteing away. I'm going to add a cup of white rice, a nice little ball there, and just smush that in. And you don't, like when you're stuffing a vegetable or anything like that, you don't need to cook the ingredients thoroughly all the way through, because if you think about it, they're going to cook for half an hour in the oven. And so you just really want to get the flavor base down that you want, and you want to kind of get them all amalgamated together. And kind of, so it's a consistent stuffing. You don't want to have just chunks of one bite of rice. You want to kind of have it really thoroughly mixed together and all of the flavors spread throughout. So to that, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of these pine nuts. And pine nuts are gorgeous. They just add this richness to this dish, and every once in a while you'll be biting into your stuffed tomato side and you get this gorgeous little pop of pine nut, and it really makes the dish rich and kind of just gives it a whole other level, and nuts do that to dishes too. It's kind of like Philadelphia cream cheese. It just makes dishes that extra bit special. I could do this without it, but with it, it makes it so much better. So we're going to put this into a bowl. And it smells fantastic. I wish that they had TV that had centers, because the pesto and pine nuts and artichokes smell great. Let me tell you. So it's fun to do side dishes that look pretty and are appetizing, and I know it's easy to fall into the trend where it's like, oh, it's just a side dish, let's not worry about it, but it's really nice to make special side dishes. So this is the spinach Philadelphia cream cheese light, and I discovered this today and was really excited and wanted to try it out. But then again, I looked and I saw that roasted tomato pesto one, and that would be fabulous in these as well. So, and because the rice and the onions are hot, this is gonna just melt right into this, and you're gonna get this gorgeous, like, Philadelphia creaminess stuffing mixture out of this. Which, who doesn't love creamy? It's king. Creamy is king. So I've been having just like the funnest time with this Philadelphia cream cheese contest. Really kind of finding new recipes that I wouldn't have, or tweaking my recipes to have Philadelphia cream cheese in them, and finding that they're so much more delicious with it. So definitely been fun. So what you do with these tomatoes is you want to, and I've done a couple, but I'll show you one. You want to take the tomato and just chop the very top of it off, about that much in, like, see thick. Just cut the top. You want to just be able to see the inside of the tomato, and you want to take a spoon. So just grab one here, and you just kind of scoop out the inside of that tomato, like so you can fit all that yummy goodness in there. And then you want to take a paper towel and just dry the inside of the tomato out, just to kind of keep it. It helps it hold its shape when you're cooking it, and it kind of helps the stuffing not get too mushy. No, mushy is no good. So I have 4 tomatoes there, and then what we do is we're going to take our stuffing and just put it in tomato. That's one. And you can get different size tomatoes here, and there's so many different varieties of tomatoes. There's hothouse tomatoes. You could do this with smaller tomatoes and make this an appetizer. Or you could use, I mean, they have these really gorgeous heirloom tomatoes that are like funny shapes, and basically any tomato you would want to use with this would work. You could even use peppers in this recipe if you wanted to, but I find the flavors work really well with tomato. So there we go. We've got those pretty, and I like to overstuff things. I find it much more visually appealing on the eye. And we put them in the pan here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just take a little bit of panko breadcrumbs, and sprinkle them on top like so. And then also I'm just going to take a tiny bit of Parmesan cheese and just put it over top of that so it'll melt and make a nice crust on top of this. So there we go. And like that. And then these you want to cook in the oven for 30 minutes at 350. I hope you enjoy my stuffed Philly Mediterranean tomatoes.